These fighters saying Floyd hating, Floyd hating, Floyd hating. Last time I checked, hating on what? On what?
Meaning he is greater at his skill of boxing than Stephen Hawking was at science.
Okay.
I
can live with that, but I don't know if I would call him the greatest fighter of all time. First of all, Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion.
Floyd Mayweather didn't stay silent after hearing Stephen A. Smith's recent remarks where he suggested Terence Crawford ranks above him as a fighter. However, Smith also took time to emphasize just how remarkable Floyd's career truly was, explaining that Mayweather dealt with significant hand issues for much of his time in the ring, which reduced his natural punching power and resulted in fewer knockouts in the later stages of his career. Yet despite that limitation, Floyd still remained undefeated and consistently showed his ability to outthink and outclass every opponent he faced. Smith highlighted that this is what truly defined Floyd's greatness, because even without relying on power, he always found ways to control and dominate every challenge in front of him.
Was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Yeah.
He would go into a ring knowing he had no shot at knocking somebody out because his hands were hurt too much. And literally walked in the ring and said, I'm gonna embarrass you and humiliate you by showing the world you can't hit me.
Moreover, while still praising Floyd Mayweather, Stephen A. Smith also gave his take on a dream matchup between Floyd and Terence Crawford. And without any hesitation, he said he would go with Crawford, making it clear he wouldn't second-guess that pick. In his view, if that fantasy fight ever took place, Crawford would have the advantage, and Smith stood firm in his confidence about who he would choose in that scenario.
I've been avoiding everybody calling it a pick'em fight.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, it could go either way, but I'm going to go with Crawford.
Furthermore, Smith also explained that while Floyd Mayweather is undeniably one of the greatest fighters in boxing history with unmatched defense, lightning speed, and elite ring IQ, he still would not place him as the single greatest of all time. He argued that the GOAT conversation is much bigger than one fighter, reminding fans that legends like Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello, and Salvador Sanchez all deserve to be included in that debate. According to Smith, Mayweather deserves massive respect, but he is not the only name worthy of being remembered at the very top of boxing history.
He is greater at his skill of boxing than Stephen Hawking was at science.
Okay. I can live with that, but I don't know if I would call him the greatest fighter of all time. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest ever. He's a brilliant defensive fighter. His speed, his boxing savvy, he's just a savant. But I gotta look at the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world. I watch Sugar Ray, I watch Pepino Cuevas, I watch Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Hagler, Mugabe, all of these cats, Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello, Salvador Sanchez before he died. But I come up with that.
However, Smith made it clear that Terence Crawford is the current face of boxing and the fighter who defines the sport today. He described Crawford as not only the best active fighter, but also the pound-for-pound number one of this era, a status he believes nobody else can genuinely claim. Smith highlighted that Crawford's journey to becoming an undisputed champion in the 4-belt era was historic and set him apart from everyone else, proving that he has already secured his place at the very top of the boxing world.
Fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion.
Boozy Ennis echoed the same idea, stating that Terence Crawford deserves to be mentioned alongside all-time legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Sugar Ray Leonard, arguing that Crawford's greatness comes from his willingness to take on every serious challenge without hesitation. He explained that Crawford has consistently faced top-level opponents across divisions and defeated them in dominant fashion, and for Ennis that level of consistency against elite competition is exactly why Crawford already belongs in the conversation with the greatest fighters in boxing history.
Did that put him up there with the Floyds and the Ray Leonards?
Right there with them all. You know what I mean? They told me he didn't fight everybody. Nobody. He done fought whoever was in front of him, who was in that weight at that time, and he beat everybody. He's great. Simple as that.
Tim Bradley strongly agreed with that assessment, even going as far as saying that Terence Crawford would beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. if both fighters met in their primes. He explained his reasoning by highlighting Crawford's complete skill set, including his ability to switch seamlessly between orthodox and southpaw and his sharp timing and precision. Bradley also pointed out that Mayweather has occasionally faced difficulty against elite counter punchers, especially skilled southpaws or fast Technical fighters in past matchups. In his view, Crawford brings not only elite-level counterpunching, but also the versatility to constantly force adjustments throughout the fight, making it harder for Mayweather to settle into his usual rhythm. Bradley believes Crawford's size, controlled aggression, and stance switching would create consistent problems for even a prime Mayweather, and over time could potentially tilt the fight in his favor.
Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's a GOAT. Oh, absolutely. But Terence Crawford will whoop his ass. He would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you right now, he will beat Floyd Mayweather too. He will beat him too. He got everything it takes to beat Floyd. Floyd struggled in the first half against Zab Judah. Zab Judah, a damn terrific fighter. Terrific fighter, but he ain't no damn Terence Crawford. Especially from the southpaw position. Floyd didn't like fighting southpaws. Floyd reached with that right hand. You think he gonna reach against one of the best back foot counterpunchers in the game? He gonna reach with that right hand against Crawford? He gonna get slept reaching with that back hand, the way he reaches with that.
Brian McIntyre, also known as Bomac, reinforced that same point by reminding fans that when the greatest fighters in boxing history are discussed, names like Sugar Ray Robinson and Jack Dempsey always come up, and in his view Terence Crawford belongs in that same category. McIntyre made it clear that Crawford has already accomplished enough in his career to be considered among the all-time greats, not just as a dominant champion of this era, but as a fighter whose legacy is firmly secured in boxing.
Just started.
Should we rank him like that? Is it difficult because, eras?
No, I'll say when you say all the best, name the best fighters ever in the history of boxing, you're going to have to say Ray Robinson. You're going to have to say Jack Dempsey. Then you got to say Terence Crawford. He's up there. He's definitely up there.
Paulie Malignaggi didn't hold back in his comparison between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, explaining that Mayweather spent his prime years fighting proven champions and elite opposition, pointing to names like Miguel Cotto and a young Canelo Alvarez as examples of the level of competition he consistently faced. In his view, Crawford still hasn't had quite the same depth of elite names on his resume, which is why he believes direct comparisons between their careers are difficult to make. However, Malignaggi also acknowledged that if both fighters had met at their absolute peak, a prime Mayweather versus Crawford would have been one of the greatest stylistic matchups in boxing history, potentially sitting alongside legendary all-time battles like Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson in the sport's legacy.
Mayweather, I thought, took on some pretty tough 154-pounders and it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard from 40 to 54, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know. I can't say I disagree or agree. I just think that Mayweather, because it's so far away, so long ago, and people sort of start to underestimate the things he did. People talk about Canelo takes his repertoire from the Mayweather repertoire. No, he doesn't. Mayweather fought ex-champions. This guy's fighting guys who will never even may never smell a belt in their life, and he was fighting them. So Mayweather, even if you're saying, he didn't fight the very best, he still fought champions and ex-champions, even at 47, even at 54. So, I don't know, man. The comparison, listen, Crawford Mayweather would have been an amazing fight in their prime. Just like you insert Ray Leonard in there, just like you insert Ray Robinson in there. What a round robin that would have been. It's not.
Zab Judah also weighed in on the debate, saying that when Canelo Alvarez once claimed that Terence Crawford was better than Floyd Mayweather Jr., it shouldn't be dismissed as just hype. Judah explained that Canelo's opinion carries real credibility because he is one of the few fighters who has shared the ring with both men, facing Mayweather earlier in his career and later going up against Crawford as well. That rare experience gives Canelo a unique perspective, and according to Judah, it makes his comparison more meaningful since he has first-hand knowledge of the different styles, challenges, and levels of difficulty both fighters bring inside the ring.
Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he knows. Yeah. If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
Ryan Clark
gave strong praise to Floyd Mayweather Jr., calling him the defining fighter of his era and arguing that Mayweather didn't just win fights but consistently outclassed opponents through elite technique, sharp reflexes, and exceptional ring intelligence. He emphasized that Floyd's biggest strength was his mental control inside the ring, where he dictated pace, distance, and timing with remarkable precision. For Clark, Mayweather represented complete dominance throughout the 2000s, standing as The ultimate example of disciplined skill and defensive mastery in a period filled with elite-level champions.
Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it right, the best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough, Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring.
He then shifted focus to Terence Crawford, noting that Crawford has now carved out his own place among the greats through dominant wins over top names like Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez. He explained that Crawford has shown both elite skill and real bravery by consistently stepping into high-risk fights against the best available opposition for him. These performances prove that Crawford is not only technically gifted but also fearless in testing himself at the highest level, and in doing so he is steadily building his own legacy and leaving a clear mark on boxing history.
There's no fear in him in the way that he's attacked gaining notoriety. Bud's been the baddest man for 12 years. But no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that. And Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their eras.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle and trainer, took a more balanced view on the discussion by revisiting Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s fight against a young Canelo Alvarez. He acknowledged that while Floyd clearly won on the scorecards, the bout was also a reflection of Canelo's early development rather than full career maturity. Jeff explained that Canelo was still very young at the time, learning and evolving as a fighter, while Floyd was already operating at the peak of his experience, ring IQ, and defensive mastery. In his opinion, the fight highlighted Mayweather's timing and skill, but also underscored how important timing is in boxing, since Floyd was able to face Canelo before he reached his physical and technical prime.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw, and then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game.
Errol Spence Jr. also shared his breakdown of what makes Floyd Mayweather Jr. stand out in boxing history, highlighting Floyd's exceptional ring IQ and elite skill set, and explaining that those traits separate him from almost every fighter in the sport. In Spence's view, Mayweather had the ability to control every aspect of a fight, both mentally and physically, which is what solidified his place among the all-time greats. He also added that while fans can only speculate about how a fight between Mayweather and Terence Crawford would have played out, Floyd's psychological sharpness and mental edge would likely have been the deciding factor.
Floyd is different. I feel like he's the best fighter. I don't know about all time. He might be the best fighter all time. If not, he's close, 2, 3, yeah. And not by far. So it's just it's a little bit different things that Floyd does. And Floyd was a lot older when I sparred him, and it's just certain things that he does that that's really tricky. Like the guy we get in the clinch, he was like squeezing my nose and I couldn't breathe and stuff like that. So it's just certain things that he do in there. It's just veteran stuff, just veteran all-time type stuff he was doing.
Like Floyd would beat Crawford, would you think? I know that's just a fantasy match.
Man, I don't know.
I'm reaching,
I don't get into all that.
Yeah.
I don't know who went out, Sugar Ray Robinson and Floyd.
I
don't know.
But Floyd was the best work, just like mental games, everything.
Oh yeah, mentally, he by far, I feel like he's the best.
Robert Garcia offered his perspective by placing Terence Crawford in the wider conversation of boxing greatness. He said Crawford's achievement of becoming an undisputed world champion is historic and deserves full recognition as one of the sport's rare accomplishments. However, when discussing a prime for prime scenario, Garcia admitted he would slightly lean toward Floyd Mayweather Jr. or even Manny Pacquiao, believing they faced deeper overall competition and tougher eras throughout their careers.
Upcoming fight against
Still, he
Canelo
emphasized
Alvarez.
that Crawford
However,
absolutely belongs in the all-time great discussion because of the legacy he is actively building and the level of history he has already created inside the sport.
He's a 5-division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more. Do I in a fight? I probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win. Just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime, nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
Shane Mosley also compared Terence Crawford to one of the few fighters who really gave Floyd Mayweather Jr. trouble in his career. Jose Luis Castillo, he explained that Crawford's combination of power, long reach, stance switching, and constant pressure could create similar problems for Floyd in a high-level matchup. Mosley said that while Mayweather's defense is legendary and extremely difficult to break down, Crawford's non-stop offense and versatility would force him into uncomfortable situations. Throughout the fight, in his view, Crawford is one of the rare fighters who could genuinely push Mayweather out of his rhythm and test him in ways very few opponents ever managed to do.
That can kind of like equate to, and this I think Crawford would have the edge, is Castillo, when Castillo fought Mayweather the first time. And fights like that, Mayweather has problems with Crawford. Because Crawford hits hard, Crawford's very strong like I am. He has all the same long arms, like I said, southpaw right-handed, and he's coming to get you. He don't care about the Philly defense style, whatever style he don't care about that. He's trying to get you. And he's gonna make sure the combination is gonna be hit. So you have to either hurt Crawford and get some respect or something. But he's gonna be on.
And that's it for today's video. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about this fantasy matchup between these legends? Do you think it would actually play out the way people are imagining, or would one fighter clearly dominate the other? Let us know your opinion in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one.